All right, y'all. Back at it again with another video. So, me personally, I do feel like sports media is a dying art. It's a dying aspect or a dying form of media. And I just got some thoughts, some opinions that I want to share with y'all. You know, because I was watching some clips and it really had me thinking, like, it's not where it should be at, in my opinion. Because if you was to ask me 10 years ago what I thought about sports media, I would have felt like, hey, I'm watching it Monday through Friday. I used to watch sports media every single weekday. But that's first things first, First Take, Undisputed, Speak for Yourself. Now they call it Speak. Now they got rid of the show. Even The Odd Couple. You feel me? Lots of different networks, lots of different platforms where, you know, you just got a little bit of everything, right? But let's get into this discussion. If y'all new to the channel, y'all tapped in with the Head of the Game podcast. Y'all read the title. Let's get right into it. This is why I feel like sports media is a dying art. When sports media got away from having numbers or statistics or facts, and these personalities that's on these shows starts to lead in with their takes more opinionated instead of being more unbiased and using facts first and opinion second, to me, that's where I feel like they lost their credibility, right? Now, I'm not sitting up there saying that using numbers or specific kind of numbers to support your narrative or argument, that's why they're debate shows, because even though sports is based off of the outcome of numbers, those numbers don't lie, they don't tell the whole truth. Meaning that there are certain things in sports you can't quantify, you know, because if you could quantify, analytics would be 100% right 10 times out of 10. But there are certain things, certain elements, certain factors you can't quantify, right? So this is why, for me, sports media is a dying art. When you got the people sitting up there playing with people's last names, using slander, just to buffer the argument and make it more entertaining, I do feel like it's childish. I'm going to just call it for what it is. Sports media is childish. It's just a bunch of drama, bunch of people arguing, somewhat debating, quote unquote debating. But it's drama filled. You know, I can't get with that. I can't sit up there and digest people either glazing, as the young kids say, or just dry hating. Oh, you make this much money, you should do this. Or, oh, you're a weak, soft person because you didn't do that. It's disgusting, man. It's disgusting. I don't like, and then this is why I feel like the original journalistic sports media created a backdoor for the players to create their own podcast and their own media platforms. You know, the new media is because they want to get their power back. They tired of sitting up there clicking on TV, hearing people that ain't got little to nothing to do with the outcome of what's what, sitting up there attaching their story along somebody else's story. just to get clicks, just for monetization. That's why I stopped watching sports media, you know, because it's too sassy, it's too gossipy. If people can't sit up there and be like, all right, because this is the type of sports media I would prefer, my preference. If someone, let's say they had a 65-inch TV and they had a remote control, and let's say they was able to sit up there and break down a play, right? All right, they're in a zone. The point guard is at the top of the key. The power forward is being dragged from the block to set a pick to get the two guard, which is a good defender, off the point guard so it creates space for him to drive around the top of the key. But then the person that the power forward was defending now has to come up to make up the difference of what the two guard had to switch onto the power forward in order to accommodate the defense towards the offense manipulating, trying to create openings. Why they call it a pick and roll? You feel me? The game has evolved, right? And I feel like the media has evolved, but it's evolved in the wrong direction. Because if y'all's breaking down the game like that and you're like, okay, well, why didn't so-and-so close out on his defender when he was sitting in the corner and all he doing is raising his hand up, playing lazy defense, and he not running up to his defender, closing that three-point shot out, and he getting dotted right in the eyes? I feel like that's fair criticism of a player's performance. But when you get the, your heart made out of cookie dough biscuits, and if I was on the court, that wouldn't happen to me, or, you know, just this it's lazy media. It's lazy. Y'all not, it's not stimulating to the mind. You're not really giving people something to be like, all you're doing is giving a good laugh. You know? Giving a good laugh. Y'all just pretty much like stand-up comedians. So when the players decide to be like, no, that's wrong. No, that ain't correct. And y'all get mad for sitting up there for them voicing their opinion. If y'all was doing y'all job the way y'all was supposed to be doing y'all job, the players wouldn't even feel like they need to go ahead and step in y'all space because they feel like they can do y'all job better. That's how I feel like how bad sports media has eroded to where players without a journalistic background is able to structure a more mature, concise opinion without being media trained than the people that's actually went for school and got degrees that qualify them to be able to, you know, be on these platforms. So when you got people just, you know, these talking heads, I ain't gonna drop no names, but, you know, y'all can probably pretty much put two and two together. But when you got people sitting up there saying, stop doing your podcast, get back in the gym, it's like, the only reason why they doing that is because y'all not doing your job. Why do you feel like if they were getting fair criticism, whether they want to hear it or not, why do you feel like they would go out their way and create all these podcasts? I feel like it's a necessary entity because it's to counteract the BS y'all been doing for years. Let's call it for what it is. Y'all suck at y'all job. Y'all suck. Yeah, y'all might got an analytical department and able to bring up all these metrics and so on and so forth, to have these colorful arguments and stuff of that nature. But let's keep it 100. Calling for people jobs. Calling for people to be traded. Even though you may feel like that, you won't want somebody to call for your job. Get him out of here. He sucks. Now imagine, right? And I'm going to flip this over to the fans. And I feel like fans may be entitled to be fans because that's how the players get played. So I do feel like it's a necessary evil, right? Because I'm pretty sure me as a truck driver, if I had thousands of people watching me and I'm able to make millions of dollars as a truck driver, and just down every street, I got people just lining up on the sidewalk watching my every turn and things of that nature. Everything's being critiqued and, you know, dissected and placed in different positions. Hey, I feel like, you know, in my opinion, it would be worth it. You feel me? Oh, he didn't cut that turn good enough. Oh, he's sitting up there taking all day to back into the spot. Yeah, we can find somebody granny to do that. Hey, those would, if people are paying me to sit up there and talk about and critique my performance like that, I feel like that's fair game, right? So I'm not sitting up there saying that fans aren't allowed to be fans. But as the media, y'all supposed to be unbiased, call it straight down the middle. Y'all may have your own personal gripes and opinions, for sure, but I feel like having a professional take of journalism should not require you to be so opinionated to get your point across. It's just sassy. Because I guarantee, right, that some of these players that were to come on y'all private platform and y'all playing with their last things like that, y'all wouldn't say that while they sitting there at that same table with y'all. Y'all wouldn't. Right? And we've seen players way back when sit up there and check certain journalists for sitting up there speaking out of pocket and out of term about grown men that got their own families and their own reputations, and they sitting up there having to speak up and defend themselves when they should only be critiqued about the game, right? So if somebody was calling me, hey, yeah, you a sorry truck driver because it take you 15 minutes to back into a trailer, to a spot with a trailer without, you know, any kind of obstacles in your way, hey, you're entitled to your opinion. That's my performance, and, you know, if I was getting paid for people to critique my performance, hey, so be it. But my whole point of this video, man, is just y'all did it to yourselves. That's why these shows are getting canceled. That's why the ratings suck. That's why the ratings suck. Because people are tired. They're bored now. You only can joke about somebody. You only can run on a joke so many times where somebody gets really done laughing at it. And then they'll be like, okay, well, what do you really have to say? Right? What do you really have to say? And if you ain't saying nothing, yeah. And that's why I do feel like journalism at this point is diluted. Because social media should be looked at as an amateur form of media, but hey, there's some people doing what I'm doing right now, getting paid as, you know, somewhere in the ballpark as people that's media trained or even more, you know. So it's really at this point, y'all did it to yourselves. Y'all, the media personalities messed it up for the plenty of multi-generational people that want to get into this space, right? They went to school for it. They got into student loans, so on and so forth. It's like, why would you go to school for media when there's social media? Why would you go to school for journalism when anybody could basically meet the bare minimums of journalism, when journalism at this point is just having an opinion? It's not about studying. It's not about fact. It's not about creative writing. It's not about structure. It's not about creating a narrative or storytelling, or it's not about any of that. First, it's about having an opinion. You got a hot take or an interesting opinion, or you sitting up there, you willing to tear down the next man. You feel me? Sitting up there, oh, you suck. Your beans, you're a scrub. Being all animated. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. Sports media is childish, bro. At this point, it's the sorriest form of media. Like y'all go like you got conspiracy theorists. Sports media is right under here. So you got the news networks. You probably got TMZ and media and all the social media and stuff like that. You got conspiracy theorists, and then sports media is right at the bottom. As far as credibility. So that's all I got to say about it, y'all. Thoughts, comments, leave those below. Like the channel, man. Thanks for watching the video. Most importantly, but last but not least, subscribe to the channel, dog. Going up. All right, catch you on the next one.